Work. I swear, if you. I think it's working. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's working, just no one's here yet. Thank gosh. Holy. Y'all don't know the struggle I went through? I don't even know who I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to nobody. Listen, I'm just glad I could be talking to myself for this whole video. I really wouldn't care. Genuinely. Because, holy crap. I spent way too long trying to. Honey. Honey. Too much, too much. Okay. Is this. I think it's live. We're live. Yeah, we're live. Okay. We're live. We're live. Okay. No, let me just share this while I'm waiting for everyone to come in. Everyone to. Okay. Honey, I see that there's one person. That probably actually is just me. Actually, I think it is just me, that one person. Oh well, that's fine. Okay. Now, let me go to over here. Oh, it's you. Wait, why am I not seeing any? Hello, Robbie, first of all. I'm sorry, I did not. It's not showing. Huh, holy. I'm having so many technical problems and just problems in general. How are you doing, Robbie? I guess it has to just like. Usually it shows. I mean, you can't see my where I'm pointing, but usually it shows. So I continue pointing. It shows like my chat. Like, okay, now I'm seeing it on my camera or phone, so I can see you now. How are you doing, Robbie? Thank you for being patient with me and chilling out with me as I was just like awkwardly just ignoring you, I guess. Would you like a reading, by the way? I'm just like posting, doing a couple more posts real quick, and then I can jump into your reading if you would like one. Anyways. Robbie Patchouli. Is that actually your last name? You don't have to tell me your actual last name, but I think patchouli is, it's either like an herb, I'm pretty sure it's like an incense scent as well. Robbie, I'm doing a lot better now. I was getting frustrated with my YouTube live because I was trying to do this over an hour ago. And it was it was working on my laptop for some reason, but like the mic and all that is just terrible on my laptop. But for some reason when I was trying to do a live stream on my phone with like actual good quality, it would like turn on for 2 seconds and then just say unable to connect. And it wasn't my internet because I was able to do everything. It was just YouTube being YouTube. So I like did the equivalent of unplugging and replugging, which was just me uninstalling and reinstalling YouTube, which I should have tried out the first place. But yeah, you just like patchouli. I personally, when it comes to incense, I personally like dragon's blood or lavender. Honestly, I like, I'm always burning incense, so I like a nice mixture, personally. So, but yeah, dragon's blood and lavender is my go-to. Yeah, it was so frustrating. There was like a few people, and I felt so bad that everyone was like sitting there waiting, and I was on time, and just wouldn't let me go live, and it was so aggravating. It wouldn't let me even type anything in chat either. It was just, honey, we're live now. We don't need to. Y'all don't need to hear me complain. Hello, I don't know how to pronounce your name. If you what? How are you doing? Sandalwood is something that grows on me. Sandalwood is definitely something that I enjoy, but because like I don't know, let me make sure I'm not showing y'all too much chest. I'm sorry. I usually I'm like always whenever I'm burning incense, I'm usually burning a lot of incense. Like I like to have I burn incense like people will burn candles, just casually. And so because of that, like sandalwood I find to be a little bit too strong, I guess, whenever I'm in like a clothes like in my room. So, but I do enjoy sandalwood. I'm doing good. I'm just glad I'm able to be live now. Avelia. I don't know how to say your name. Avelia? Can you correct me if I'm wrong? Yeah, I was supposed to do one earlier and it just was not, YouTube just was not letting me, like, I would go be, like, turn on my thing on my phone, which has, like, the good quality, and it just would not do anything. And it was really, like, I do not like technical difficulties. I'm a pretty patient person, but when it comes to technical difficulties, especially when there's no explanation for it. It's just saying like, oh, well, we can't connect. It's like it was extremely frustrating to me. So like this entire time, I was just like, I'm not giving up on this because it was personal at this point. Avelia, uh, Avelia. I was really close. Robbie, I don't know if you said if you wanted a reading. I have your cards here, which if it's okay if you don't want a reading, a little reading by me. I can just like put it up and go to someone else, but I feel like Avelia. I don't mean to be like I just like pronouncing people's names properly because I know I don't want it to seem disrespectful. Um, yes, I can get one for you as well, Avelia, afterwards. Um, all right, so for you, Robbie, I pulled 3 cards for you. Well, technically, I pulled 6, but I pulled a clarifier for each one. I can definitely get you as well. I don't know. For I don't know how to say your name because I don't know if that's a what character. I don't know if it's Japanese or Yurin. I'm sorry. I always just like to be able to. I'm like a personable person, so I like to just say names whenever I'm speaking. So Yurin, I think. Yuran, Yarin. I'm sorry. I really am not trying to like. Okay, regardless, let's jump into your reading, Robbie. I'll be paying attention to chat, sort of like Aaron, but with a Y. Yaren. Okay, Aaron with a Y. Why can I not? Yaren. Okay. Okay, I got it. Alright. I'm just like, don't mind me, guys. I'm still trying to, like, come down from my frustration of dealing with technical difficulties. So let's jump into your reading now, Robbie. I pulled the Nine of Water for you. This is a really good card, and I pulled the clarifier for it as the Magician. So this is beyond good. The Nine of Water, I'll read off literally what the card says. It says, your wish is coming true, concerns fading away, and it speaks of a love life. I don't feel like this is more so in terms of like a love life, but more so just as like a really good time to manifest for you because the Magician is like the jack of all trades. Like, this is a powerful card when it comes to just trying to have some type of creation. Shame there is no audio on here. Oh, this tells you where my brain is at. I've been talking to y'all for however long, and it just now, like, I was reading the name no audio, and I thought y'all couldn't hear me, and I was processing what you were trying to say, Velia. Honey, we'll get into the swing of it. um, But honestly, yeah, it would be nice if I could just like click a button and be like, here, y'all's. So the magician card, yeah, when it comes to these two things, I would say this is more of a, I feel like this is more of like a push for you, Robbie. I feel like Spirit's really trying to push you in some way. I say this because we have the King of Air for you, paired with the Ten of Swords. Now, I always say this, a 10, I always associate tens with the ending of some type of cycle. And this doesn't mean like you're having to part ways necessarily from someone. It's just like maybe you're just done allowing a certain behavior. You know, it's just like the ending of some type of behavior or some type of cycle that you were having in your life. That I feel like has just been eating you up. I feel like this is more so like asking you to either like a stand with somebody, or more so just asking you to come into your own power, because the King of Air, it says speaking your mind with confidence and seeking out professional advice and speaking about balance and for emotional and mental. I really feel like with the Ten of Swords coming in as well, this is letting me know that you're being asked to move on from something. You're being asked to move on from something. This could very well just be like your dynamic with how you have with yourself, because I did pull the Tower card as the clarifier for the Knight of Earth. The Knight's cards always it comes in when it comes to like some type of new journey. And the Earth is the element for coins or discs, and disc is something that's usually like some type of foundational energy. So whatever it is that you're trying to put, it could very well be like a love life, right? It could be very well for like some type of social interaction of where you're starting like a new journey with something, but the only way that you can go into this new journey, whether it's like a love life or whether it's like a career or whatever, you have to kind of get rid of the old. You have to have like your tower moment, and it can initially seem, why is my light being so crazy, it can initially seem super spooky having like the Tower card coming in, but with the King of Air and the Ten of Swords, this is letting me know that it's like putting either like an ending to some type of social dynamic, some type of, this could really be just like setting like a boundary of some sorts, Robbie. And yeah, I would really say, if I were to be having this spread right here, I would take this as a sign to I would take this as a sign to because I feel like with those cards, because I keep on thinking about the King of Air, I really would take this as a sign of demanding more respect from some type of person. I feel like there's like because like your whole entire theme was just kind of like trying to empower you, but also like asking you to own your energy, but ending some type of cycle. So it's almost like you need to be asking more respect and be more valued by other people in your life. Why is my room doing this? I promise I'm not trying to flash y'all. You need to like, yeah, it's just almost like setting up some type of social boundary and not allowing some type of behavior in your life anymore. And once you do that, when it's almost like once you have set up a higher standard of people that you allow in your life, that's when something will come forward to you. It's like people, we always say that we want our soulmate, or we want like our twin flame connection, but if we're not mentally and emotionally ready for it, if we're not at a place of where we would be able to have like that perfect thriving relationship or that perfect job, we have, there's always that build up, right? I like to use examples. So let's say me, for example, if I really wanted to be like being popular on YouTube, like a tarot reader on YouTube, having 1,000 subscribers on YouTube for tarot readings. I could just like, it'd be like a, going through like that journey of figuring out like, putting myself on that schedule, adopting like the mindset of being able to have like a more flourishing YouTube channel. So it's like having like a scheduled thing, it's just like doing like the groundwork for that foundational energy. So something can come forward to you. With what I was getting with that magician energy as well, I feel like it's kind of like already, it's almost as if like it's set up for you and it's just waiting for you to go through that door, if that makes sense. All right, Avelia, I will get to you next for your reading. I'm glad it resonates with you. I'm sorry, like when it comes to like my readings, especially when I first am doing them, it takes me a little moment to like warm up and like start connecting with the energies, but I think we're getting into the flow of it now. How are you guys doing tonight, by the way? Is it today Tuesday? Or it is a Tuesday. Today's a Tuesday. Honestly, it feels like I've already lived through a week in this past like day. I don't know what it is. It's just been like such a heavy week. Heavy past, it's been like a past couple heavy few weeks for me, but I don't know. It's just, it feels like, especially this week, it feels a lot harder to like just get out of bed in the morning. You know, it just feels like takes a lot more effort to just do anything. Does that make sense? Your Zoom classes on. See, I'm so glad I am not taking classes or going to school during all of this madness, because I don't think I would be able to have the patience whatsoever. Hello, Blonde, how are you? I'm doing all right. I'm just glad I was able to overcome the technical difficulties so I could do this. I hate technical difficulties is my pet peeve. It's Wednesday for you, Lucy? Yeah, there's a time difference. I live in Washington, Pacific Coast. So for me, it's only 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. on a Tuesday for me. All right, Avelia, I have your cards. I have 3 of fire for you, and I pulled the clarifier of the Emperor. I like this because like this card, I'll show it to you before I read it off. This is saying abundance and things are looking good. This is like overall just like a long-term plan. Like I think I have like even like my zodiac, one of my zodiac videos like titled for that, for this upload for today, was asking you to make long-term plans. When you have the Emperor, I feel like this is asking you to start owning this energy of like I feel like, okay, here's where I'm seeing this. It's like you have the 5 of water and the 5 of swords coming in. And the 5 of water comes in asking you to not cry over spilled milk. Like something happened. And when it comes with the 5 of swords, this is asking you to move on. Like it's almost like something happened, and because of that occurrence, now you're being asked to move on from it. Or you're actively moving on from it. It's almost like it's almost like you accepted it, but it's just like now you're just like in this energy. It's just like, dang, like did I really have to like did this really have to happen? Did I like, why is this like this sort of thing happening? You know, why, so it's like and that's the thing, when you have this kind of mindset, you're focusing on like what's happening in the current. And what Spirit's really trying to add emphasis for you on is just like don't pay attention to what's happening right now, because like if you take like 10 more steps forward, there's so much so much good happening for you. So really, I feel it's like the situation of where you need to just elevate your mindset. And I'm not trying to say bathrobe is not a choice. I'm not trying to say that you have a lower mindset, but it's like I think I talked about it in my last live, where it's like I always believe everything is energy. So your thoughts act like everything's energy. So when you're putting the intent out there, law of attraction, right? You're coming at it from like whatever vibration you're at. And so when you have a bunch of energy coming in, especially you have like your spirit guides, whoever you work with, coming in and trying to help you along, helping you manifest something. I like to view it as where we're ending up being like the vessel, or is it like conduit, if maybe that's the word for it, or where it's like depending on your vibration, that's how that energy is going, like that their energy is going to match that vibration. So if it's like if you're at this vibration, this energy coming through, it's only going to come through in this on this level, whereas if you continue to raise it, this energy that doesn't have like any, like you're setting like the tone, you're setting like the potency for it. So it's really asking you to don't cry over the spilled milk. Don't pay attention to what's going on currently in your space right now, because this is kind of saying like your story gets better. You have the 5 of coins as well. You have 3 5 cards that came forward for you. So I would suggest for you to write that down, Avelia, for numerology. You have 5 of coins coming in. And I feel like this is more so just like going in with the 5 of water energy, where it's just like you're extremely just frustrated with something that happened recently for you. And so, yeah, and the 10 of water, this is leading me to believe it was some type of like emotional connection or social connection, right? Because of the 10s again. So yeah, I feel like this is just more so of a push for you, from Spirit saying like, hey, your story gets better. Stuff may suck right now, but it's kind of like saying like, I promise you things will get better. Just think about what it is that you're like, if you're dealing with like a bump on the road now, don't worry about trying to fix what that bump on the road is, and just think about like, pay attention to like what you're trying to go after, like 10 steps forward, if that makes sense. Hi Vaughn, how are you doing? I can get you as well. I have your urine next. Life seems good. Thank you. Yes, Sundesk, I can get you as well. Hey, Crazen, how are you doing? Hi, Dovaline. Ugh. Y'all, I'm still like halfway tense from like dealing with these technical issues. Like, let me tell y'all what's been going on. Like, today, I'm still like mentally just like in a spot. And so I've been just like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like I've been pretty depressed, and so like whenever it's just like you have those days, where you're just like laying in bed and you're just like you just don't move, like you just don't move for hours, or you just stay in the same spot for hours because you just don't feel like getting up. You just like nothing just sounds good, and you just want to exist. That's where I was at. And when I was just like, in my mind, I was like, okay, like, you know what? Like, let me just get out of this mindset. Let me stop just like sitting in this energy. Let me just do something productive because I really do enjoy connecting with you guys a lot. And it's just a nice refresher. So when I was just like, okay, let me just schedule it. Let me just like let's do this kind of last minute. So, got done up right because that's another thing. Whenever you're just feeling, let me be clear, y'all. I did not look anything like this 2 hours ago. I was looking frumpy, dumpy, crusty, and dusty. Like please. And plus, with this lighting and this camera doing me justice as well, I probably look a lot better than what I even do in real life. So yeah, when I tried to do the live stream and it just was not working out, and I saw so many people were waiting, I was just like, I don't like being late. And so, and when I have an appointment, I'm like 30 minutes early. So when this all was happening, it was just like ooh, the universe is really trying to square up with me right now, and she doesn't want any. I'm glad that resonated with you, Avelia. Yeah, everyone, that's the thing. Like, everyone is going through like their own thing, right? I've been able to like maintain an optimistic mood for the most part for a lot of it. And I think I'm just now, it's almost as if, they're just like, I don't know. We don't need to, y'all don't need to hear about my woes. Let's get into this reading you're in. Okay. Yes, I can. Right now, you guys, I'm going to be doing urine, and then how we're going to just do this when it comes to these types of live readings is I'm going to just ask people, like, who's still waiting for a reading after each one, whenever I'm going to be doing my next one. And I'll just go with whoever I'm feeling called to next after, if that makes sense. So have patience with me. I promise I will try to get to you whenever, but I also don't want to just try to force doing like a reading for someone if I'm not able to quite connect to your energy quite yet, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be doing urine next, and then from there I'll ask about who else would like one. Hello, Tenebrae. How are you doing? Being human is hard. That's the thing. Like, people, apparently shuffling tarot cards is extremely hard for me as well. Like, people don't talk about, oh my gosh. People don't talk about, like, just existing. Like, it's a full-time job, just, honey. So let's just jump into your reading, Urine. We have Nine of Water for you, which is, again, like, this is a card that came forward for the last one. It's like an overall good, abundant card. I would say this is like more so adding emphasis. You're on the right path because you have the Eight of Cups. So when you have these two cards coming in, this is almost as if Spirit's at like letting you know that's like you are on the right path with something. You are on the right path with letting go of something. It's almost as if like you're questioning, or maybe you're not questioning, but it's just like, when you're just not sure if you're like, listen, it's one of those things of like, when you're trying to make a decision on something and it's kind of hard to filter through. It's like, okay, is this my ego? Is this my intuition? Is this like me just being emotionally bad? Like, it's like you can't quite figure out like if like, what level you're thinking from. And I feel like from this, Spirit's kind of letting you know that's like you're making the right choice in something even if it doesn't make sense. Because the thing is with the Eight of Cups, like this individual is leaving a situation with eight filled cups, so it doesn't seem as if it doesn't make sense to people. It's just like, why would you walk away from these, like, this seemingly really good situation, right? And like spirits like, it's almost as if you have to just like, it's like one of those things is like, you know your story, and so it's like you have to like be willing to just continue going forward with it, because you have like these brilliant new ideas. You have the Ace of Air and the Magician card as well step forward for you. Like you have like, it's like you have like a game plan, but in order for you to execute this game plan, you have to walk away from something. It would be almost as if like a quitting like a job that seems like pays good, has good insurance and benefits and all that, right? You having to quit this job because you just feel something in your gut that like, apparently this is my gut now, that just makes sense to you, that you feel like will work out. So it's like, again, because it's like, yeah, the Five of Cups, and it's like you're walking away from something. And the thing is, though, I feel like you can go back to it, because that's the thing. Like this individual, he's looking back on the city that he walked away from. Some feelings are hurt, right, because of the spilled blood, but it's like you have the option, so don't get too overconsumed by the fact of like, you're not burning a bridge necessarily. You're just going and checking out what life is like outside of your house, outside of your comfort zone, sort of thing. And the Knight of Earth, again, this is like a, just talking about like a new journey of a sense. This goes perfectly with your Ace of Air and your Magician card. So it's like, if, for however your dynamic is, if this is like a social thing or relationship as well, this is just like an overall, just like a good, you're on the right path. That's really what it is. Like the setup is just saying you're on the right path. Right, that's the thing, crazy. It's like nothing has really changed. I feel like nothing has really changed for a lot of us during this time because of like quarantine and all that. But it's like, because nothing has changed, it's almost as if like it's been like this progressive buildup or this like progressive deterioration. So it's like, for me personally, like I'm a hardcore introvert. So when it came to quarantine, and I'm still like thriving in that sense, but it was like, so I started out with this whole thing just being extremely optimistic, still am fairly optimistic, but it's just like after like a certain amount of time of like the same story, it can just like wear on you a little bit, and I feel like that's normal. I feel like and it, like, yeah, like Tenebrae said, it's like growing pains. And it's I don't know. It's funny because I, from, for whoever watched my dramatic, not dramatic, my video where I said it's okay to be human, titled "It's Okay to Be Human." I talked about like the dynamic and situation I had with my mother and my father. The thing is, like, I had a conversation with my mother afterwards. She doesn't watch my videos. If she did, I wouldn't care. But it was one of those things of where she couldn't understand me just wanting to just talk about my feelings and just to have a moment of just crying. And I could just cry right now, but it's not even from sadness. It's just like, that's how, like, I'm an emotional person. I love emotions. I feel like emotions is like an art form in and of itself, as weird as that might sound. And I feel like it's so important to be able to just cry if you want to cry, or just to like exist and just like have your emotions and be with them, because it's the only way that you can feel comfortable in them. Like, you know, I didn't feel initially, like, please, like, I didn't even feel comfortable, like, even saying that I was struggling at one point. And I feel like there's like a level of empowerment to be able to say, she's like, hey, I'm struggling. I am depressed. Like, I'm sitting on my bed. If y'all haven't figured it out by now in all my videos, sitting on my bed, I have not moved from this spot this entire day. Aside from getting up to wash my face, I didn't even wash my face today. I'm lying. I did not get up from here. You know, but it's okay. You know, I feel like so many people are afraid of, or like feel a little bit antsy when it comes to emotions, because they're not in touch with their own, or they don't know how to deal with it. But for me, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's just important to be able to say, hey, it sucks, and be able to just like relate to other people on how it sucks, because, you know, even though it's not going to change anything from saying how much it sucks, it still can kind of just be nice to just be with it. Hello, Hello, Octopussy. I love your name, by the way. I saw your message on Instagram, Octo. Um, I meant to get back to you, but I just am. I'm bad at responding to people. I'm like a vocal person, even with my friends. My friends will text me. Dopaline. Dopaline has texted me several times, and I haven't responded to her. Like, I'm a vocal person. I like the I like a connection of some sort. So it's like a, not saying that I don't want to speak to you, Octo. It's more of a, I have to like catch myself during a time of where it's like I'm able to just like sit down and actually be able to have a conversation with you. I don't like to have like a, whenever I respond to people, I like to actually be fully well thought out. I don't like to just like give like a basic answer to people or like respond without having my full attention, if that makes sense. Hello, Noelle. Let me catch up on chat real quick. It's yeah, these are you're in, these are the mystical manga cards. They're like, they're really cheap too. I want to say they're like 20 bucks, 25 bucks at most. I have the links to all the cards I have in my descriptions for all my videos. You look fab. See, I don't look fabulous when I cry. I don't want to say I'm an ugly crier. I like cover my face whenever I'm crying. It's not even because like I'm embarrassed. I don't know. That's just always been like my thing. I'm glad it was helpful for you though, Yurin. It is hard to be vulnerable, but once you are able to start being vulnerable, like I feel like you'll find like how like it's hard to be vulnerable because it's like we're afraid of other people's judgment, but once you start being vulnerable, you realize that no one's judging you and everyone's like able to relate to you. And that's what I kind of learned throughout the years is that we're all the same. We're all just looking to be understood. We're all looking to be heard, looking to be loved, looking to be seen, you know? And really, if someone wants to view your vulnerability as something negative, that just speaks more to the individual than you. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's more empowering and more stable to be able to say, it's like, hey, I'm going through this or I'm feeling this, and rather than just suppressing it. Because, like, let's not sit here and pretend like we all don't have our emotions. Sundisk, I can get to you. Do your spread now. I don't have like a community. My community, in my opinion, my community is my YouTube because I enjoy YouTube for the sense that like we can just like the luxury of being able to just like speak to each other whenever. Like I like to using my community posts to just like talk and update with you guys. Okay, well, table is a little bit too much. Anyways, Sundisk, I don't remember if I said Sundisk. I don't know what it is with me tonight. I cannot shuffle these cards. Yeah, like texting I don't mind, but it's like it doesn't matter who it is. It's like you can call me, you'll have more of a chance of calling me and me picking up than me texting me and me responding, sort of thing. Australia's all right in that sense. Yeah, like I can really relate in the sense that the past couple of years have been just challenging, but it's I feel actually I don't even know how I feel. Yeah, that's the thing. It just like this quarantine really just made it a lot harder to just feel any type of optimism. Hello, Sierra. I'm doing good. I'm just glad I was able to get onto this live. See, I enjoy talking in person even more, but talking in person requires me to move. All right, Sundisk. So for you, I have Four of Water paired with the Ace of Cups. So the Four of Water, this is talking about you're missing an opportunity. There's something that you're not paying attention to, or maybe you already know about this situation, because you have the Ace of Water as like the clarifier. No, actually, this is inverted for you. This Ace of Water is inverted for you. It's like I say you might already know what it is that like you're missing an opportunity on, or you're not considering, because I feel like you're not considering it because of some type of of what it would mean in terms of like having to pursue it. Does that make sense? So, what example can I use? If you let's say that you lived in Texas. You lived in Texas with your family, all your family's there. Um, but you have this opportunity to go to California and live out your fabulous like actress acting career. But that means you would have to walk away from a really good dynamic. That means you would have to walk away from your family. But again, as I was talking about before with this last time the Five of Cups came forward, you can go back. But it's like it's almost as if like you're missing this possibility, missing this opportunity, because it's like through pursuing this opportunity, you would have to let go of something. Because you have the renewal card equaling to 2 for numerology. Take care, Lucy. Um, with the new renewal card, this is asking you to move into a new direction. It's asking you to assess everything. I think I also had like a video today called Assess the Facts. You assess everything and just being like, being realistic and being, well, not realistic, being, I guess it's just kind of like having a moment where it's just like a tough conversation with yourself or a tough realization and just kind of like sucking it up and just being able to go, it's like, you know what? Situation isn't going to improve or like be in the way that I would like it to be, if that makes sense. So if it's like you, because that's the thing with the Ace of Water, this is talking about some type of fulfillment and for you. So when it's inverted for you, you're not feeling like you're doing something that's not fulfilling to you. You're not feeling fulfilled. You're feeling, dare I say, you're feeling empty, right? Because your cup is literally turned upside down. Instead of your cup being overflowing, your cup is completely upside down and like losing it. So it's almost as if like this progressive deterioration. But I feel like, and this could be talking about some type of relationship. This could be talking about like moving on from a relationship to go into something else, because you have the Lovers card paired with the Ten of Cups, number 6 as well. Okay. And so I'm sorry, I was like addressing something in my chat. So these two cards, like the Ten of Cups, beautiful paired with the Lovers. Like usually the Lovers, like before I get too bold, the Lovers could just represent like you making like a major decision, long term decision, paired with this, right? You know, going into that new direction, you having to commit to this long term decision, and it could just be fulfilling, right? With that Ten of Cups, where it's just like you're getting everything that you wanted. Ten of Cups usually is like such a sign for something where it's just like that family fulfillment, right? And so I can't help but kind of like put a focus on that, where it's just like when you have the Lovers card paired with the Ten of Cups, it's like I don't know, it's interesting. So yeah, I feel like for overall for you, I would say like you're being really pushed into committing to a decision that you kind of have in your, like you kind of already know in your heart, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to like, it's almost as if you're afraid of someone else's reaction towards it. Yeah, Zoom calls are like, I mean, I haven't personally used Zoom, but like I don't know. When it comes to, I don't know. I don't know. I just like YouTube. All right, talking is great. Yeah, that's the thing. It taught like even like recording like a video as an introvert, like I know like not everyone, but people hear introvert and they don't really like, they'll think it's like something like, they'll be like, oh yeah, like I don't like talking to people sometimes. Like no, when I did my video where I had my 10 days of silence and I did not speak to a single soul for 10 days, I cannot think of a happier moment that I had in my life. Like, not speaking to anyone at all, not on the internet, not anywhere, like, literally no one. I did not speak to a single soul for 10 days. Loved it. And I know normal human beings, like, they will, like, start hallucinating and go crazy if they don't have social interaction, because humans are just normal, like, social beings. But it's like, baby, I am really good at being my own best friend. Brujo, I want to know more about your path. Is there a God that you exalt above all others? So, the relationship that you're thinking on keeping, if wondering if you should keep, the thing is with the dynamic of your cards on disc, it was like I just realized I don't entirely. I know you had the Five of Cups, so it's like I really kind of would say this would be more so speaking about business. Um, or at least that's what I feel comfortable in saying it for, because like I'm never going to tell someone to do something for the relationship. Like again, let's put this in perspective. I'm a man reading some tarot cards. I'm a man right now reading some tarot cards on a table. Like I'm never going that's never like it's easy for me to look at these cards and go it's like, "Oh yeah, do this, do that," right? And I don't know your situation. I'm not living in your situation. I don't know what's going on for you, right? I'm just seeing it's very easy when it's just like on this side of things. And so, I always like to have say like tarot cards are meant to give you a new perspective and hopefully give you something to think about, something to consider, but not something that you should just like take as like the end all be all. Like I'm only doing general readings, by the way. If you would like to have like a specific question, I do, or like a one-on-one session for readings, I do have on my website, simplyvelka.com, for readings. They have several options for live and just like video ones that I can just like upload like a 45-minute video doing your reading. But yeah, to answer your question, Brujo, I don't really, when it comes to my spiritual path, I don't exalt any being more than any type of deity more than another one, just because that's just not my dynamic when it comes to deities. I kind of view it as like a mentorship or like a like just learning and observing from someone. So like for example, like we have Rossier Sigil. He's arguably the one I've done the most work with, just because our personalities or like what I'm trying to aspire to do for my life like really resonates with like what he teaches, sort of thing. But like I've had connections with like so many people so many different deities over my time. Like my original experiences were working with it was working with Archangel, I don't remember his name now, Archangel Gabriel. I worked with Archangel Gabriel a lot, and also with Lilith. And so it's like, yeah, I have I can't show my tattoo. Like Azazel sigil, I have some various other being sigils all tattooed. I even have, I don't know if my hair is grown in. I just like to connect to any type of deity when it comes to just like teaching me some type of perspective. I'm never, um, there's not like one that I will just like reserve myself for, because it's like it's almost like I like to view it as like going into like a university and only limiting yourself to like a couple professors, right? It's like, no, I like to just like learn from everybody. Did I reach out to them or did deities reach out to me? I guess that you could argue like, well, that would depend on how you would consider it, right? Because when Lilith stepped forward to me, I initiated it, but it's almost felt as if like she set it up that way, so like I would be the one to initiate it, if that makes sense. Everything that I've done in terms of like my reaching out to each deity that I work with, including Rossier, I always was taking like the first initial step, but I can look back and see like how that was probably like, I believe my entire life has just been a consistent just like path and being led. So hello, Hez, how are you doing? Yes, I can do, let me see, Vaughn, I'm gonna be doing a reading for you next. That's so cool, Sierra. Hello, Star Ruby. Okay. Let me see. I wanted to make sure I'm like getting... For anyone that's new, I'm going to be doing readings for people. I'm just going with whoever I feel called to. Each time I finish a reading, I'll ask who's still waiting for one, and then I'll go with whoever I'm feeling called to. I'm not doing a wait list of any type, because if I'm not feeling called to you in that moment, I'm not going to try to force pulling some cards, because I am extremely intuitive. It's not like a situation where I'm just pulling some cards and then relaying the message. There's like there's some background work that goes on behind it. So it's like I could do a reading, but it just would not be as impactful if I just like waited until like the like 5 minutes between people, if that makes sense, right? Hello, and was someone, I heard someone, I thought someone was leaving. Oh. Hello, Caroline. But yeah, if you would like a reading, when I don't feel bad about repeating yourself, but yeah, like it was just like a process. Like I will let you know, but no one, like, no, I'm trying not to leave anyone out, sort of thing. So don't feel like you're being ignored when it comes to reading. I promise I'll try to get to you for as long as I'm doing this live stream for it. All right, Vaughn. So I have your cards right here. No, yeah, like that's the thing. It's not like a situation of where I can't just, like, I can do a reading for anyone. It's how do I explain this without sounding crazy? Because it's like an energy thing. It's sometimes it's just easier for me to like connect to someone's energy instant. Well, not in instant, but like they're just like there'll be a time where it's just like like you. I know whenever I'm like connecting to someone, it's like easier to just have a message flow through. And okay, yeah, Vaughn, I have your reading now, or your cards. We have Seven of Fire for you, Page of Fire, and the Hermit card for you, number 9. So write that down, Vaughn, for numerology. And I pulled clarifiers for you, and we'll get into this. The Seven of Fire is asking you to speak up for something. It's asking you to kind of just defend your way of thinking or defending a choice of some sort. Why do I look so, my hands like this? You're being asked to defend your choice on something. And I feel like you're wanting to like move forward with it pretty quickly. And I feel like there's some hesitation from someone else in your life that's trying to like slow you down. But it's like with the Ace of Coins, with the clarifier Seven of Fire, like this is kind of like a push again of where it's just it's like a lot of fiery energy, but I feel like this is like a time for you to, it would be a time for you of what I would suggest of pursuing what it is that you're wanting to do, but don't argue with people. Because the thing is, the Seven of Fire asks you to choose your battles wisely. When you have the Hermit card as well, I would almost say the way that you choose your battles wisely is just being of you just setting out the intention of being like, hey, I'm going on this new journey, right? That's what the Page of Fire represents. Page of Fire represents just like a new creative pursuit, a new passionate pursuit. So whoever's trying to, or whatever is trying to slow you down or try to slow this momentum down, because we have the Chariot card with the Page of Swords, it's almost as if like this could be like a mindset thing as well. It doesn't have to be like an individual. Y'all already know the deal. Like I will go with an analogy and continue on with it, but it, associate with how it is for you. It's like with this forward, like really forward, passionate, fast movement with the Chariot card, you're being asked to, with the Page of Swords, to just like cut something out. Well, not cut something out. With the Page of Swords, it's like a new venture, a new journey into the social dynamic with things. So this could just be like setting a boundary, being like, hey, I'm going to be doing this right now. You may not agree with it, but that's none of your business. I'm going to be hermiting. I'm going to be focusing on my Ace of Coins, my abundance, and I'll see you on the other side whenever I decide to come out, sort of thing. But yeah, overall, for what I would be getting for you, Vaughn, is like don't allow things to get in your head, and don't allow something to sabotage what it is that you're feeling passionately about. You're still trying to leave him this lack of money that's stopping me. Hello, Angie. I appreciate that, Octo. I love your name, Octopussy. I get all my life from your name. Of course. Hello, Illumahati. I love your, speaking of names I love, I always, like, I smile so much when I see your notifications, Illuminati. And speaking of which, I can do your reading next. I can do, yeah. I can do a few cards for you, Illumi. But yeah, I would say, going back to your question, Brujo, if I were to not make your question difficult and making it going out on my own spiel, let me stop again. Like, I don't know why my robe just is insistent on trying to show off my chest hair, but hopefully y'all don't mind. Taking a bath and hanging out. A bath sounds nice. I always enjoy taking baths when I'm at a hotel, when they're like really big baths. I don't know why. But yeah, to answer your question from before Brujo, I would say I have my most work, I've done the most work with Rossier. Rossier, and then I would say Lilith. But it's just like a hard thing to measure. I've learned the most from Rossier, but it's like like Archangel Michael is another one that's really throughout my life has just played such a pivotal role in my life and how things would go. Hello, Jack. I appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. I hope you have a good day at work and drive safely or travel safely to your job. And hopefully it goes by quickly and smoothly. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by and saying hi. Yes, I got you, Crazen. Bye, Avelia. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. So for you, I forget who was it? Illumahati. For you, I pulled 3 cards for you. 4 of air, you're being asked to take a moment of rest. Taking a moment, it's almost like you're being asked to not take life as seriously. Does that make sense? Because you have the 3 of air and the 4 of air. The 4 of air is asking you to take a break and asking you to meditate and just silencing your mind before making some type of decision. And then with the 3 of water, this is asking you to have more fun. So this is kind of like the dynamic with these 2 energies. It's like asking you to not take life so seriously. This is kind of maybe this is just like spirit trying to just like be an anchor for you right now, because the 8 of fire lets me know that something's happening, right? Well, a lot of movement's happening for you, right? So it can be like a feeling of being overwhelmed right now, and the best response for you to do for your situation right now, and the best way to respond to you feeling overwhelmed right now is, instead of trying to force it to happen, instead of trying to work through it, take a moment's pause. Stop trying to work harder to resolve something. Stop trying to, like, it's almost like the more energy you put into it right now, the more difficult and more stressful it's going to be for you. So you're really being suggested to just take a moment, take a breather, put things in perspective, and then come back to the situation. Because I feel like through meditation, and maybe through because usually whenever you're being suggested through tarot cards to meditate, that's usually spirit having that card come forward because they're trying to make make contact with you, if that makes sense. Okay. Crazy, I can get to you next for your reading. I'm glad that was helpful to you, Illuminati. You've been feeling pressure to arrive at decisions quickly. Yeah, like that's the thing. Your spread, like your 3 card spread right from the get-go is just like saying, it's like, hey, calm down. Like, I'm not trying to downplay your situation, but it's like the energy where it's just like, calm down. You don't, like, it seems like you have to make a choice right now, but you don't. Take a moment to just even taking like a small breather and just being like, hey, like being able to laugh about the situation. Like, again, for me, for example, I always I always speak in examples, but for me, so if I had this spread, if I had those cards right now, I would take this as a sign of like being like, you know, for what I was dealing with when I was dealing with like the YouTube problems earlier, trying to get this live stream up. If I had that spread come forward to me, I'd be like, okay, let me take a step back, you know, which I ended up doing actually. I think I pretty much like what I did was just like taking a step back. I didn't meditate because what? I like was still too busy trying to like fix everything, but it was just like through me taking like a moment's break and just like being outside for a moment, I was like able to think about what it is I needed to do, which was a simple case of just uninstalling and reinstalling the YouTube app. And then it just was like so much smoother because now I'm live for an hour, right? So it's that kind of thing. It's not me saying that your situation, what it is you're going through, is not serious, or like, you know, like your situation is valid for what it is. But it's not like you don't need to address it in that moment right now. Hello, the sexy kitten. The library is open right now. I'm doing a spread for Crazent, but then yeah, just for whoever is waiting for a reading, I just pick through whoever is in the chat that I feel drawn to doing their message next, and then we go from there. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to get to everybody tonight. Doubt I will be able to, if I'm going to be real. Because I still have to record videos for tomorrow's zodiac signs. But it is with my intention to try to get everybody that I could. IDK, I cannot rush readings. If you would like a personal reading by me, then I do have, again, on my website for personal readings. But when it comes to my live streams, I'm trying to be as casual as possible, you know? Like, if I just start doing, like, readings just off demand, then that takes away the fun of even me doing this, because I could just do a video reading. You know, I could just do a pick a card at that point. I want to be able to connect with you guys, and I want to be able to, like, relay messages to whoever I feel called to in that moment. But I do plan on doing more live streams, so if you can't make this one, then I promise you I'll be able to. I'm not against giving readings to you guys. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, I can't explain. It's one of those things that you know if you know when it comes to like connecting to energy. I'm really not trying to be difficult in that regard. All right, Crescent. Let's look at this. I will be able to get to these readings quicker though, now that I've warmed up. As you can tell, we're starting a little bit rough at the beginning when trying to get the messages across, but I'll be able to get through these pretty quickly now. For you, Crescent, I have the Knight of Air, the Two of Earth, and then a Knight of Earth. So 2 different Knight cards. You're definitely venturing into some new journey of some type. Y'all, this Five of Cups, y'all have watched me literally how much I've been shuffling. So this card keeps coming up for you guys. A lot of you guys in my chat right now are moving on from something. And it makes sense because it's like you, Crazy, you're moving on from something and you're owning this Knight energy. The Knight of Earth comes in where it's asking you to buckle down and honoring your commitments. Also, I always, when it comes to just this Knight of Earth, when it comes to this deck in specific, when this speaks of a guardian angel. So I really feel called to just suggest to you to see if there's like an archangel that you feel called to the most. I'm not going to just name drop any type of archangel just because, you know, I'm just going to be biased. I enjoy all the archangels in their own way, and I've worked with all of them for years. So, but yeah, with the Knight of Earth, this is talking about where you're venturing into some type of new journey. With the Knight of Air, this is talking about things just happening pretty quickly. So it's almost as if you've had to, it's almost like a last minute change of plans for something where it's kind of like, oh, we're doing this. Oh, I have to. It's like where it's just like you woke up one day and you realize you have to just like pack your stuff and leave almost. That's what I'm getting. The Two of Earth says too much is going on at once. And again, it's talking about a need for a more playful approach. So it's like, let's use that analogy where it's like you wake up one day and you realize you have to pack your stuff and leave. The Two of Earth comes in of where it's like, see this as an opportunity. See a reason for why this is happening in the first place. Because being drawn to say that there's a reason as to why you like for a drastic decision like that, while it's like it sucks in the moment, like, right, no one wants to just wake up and find out they have to like pack their bags and leave, but I feel like it's setting you up for something great. I feel like this has been part of the plan for whatever that dynamic is for you, because we have the Three of Wands coming in where you're looking forward, you're looking out into the distance in some type of passion project. Whenever I say passion, because like I function through everything in life through passion, my choice isn't like everything. So I I use passion as like a blanket statement. So it could just be like a dynamic when it comes to like a relationship, it could be the dynamic of a work thing. It's just could be pertaining to a lot of things. It's just regardless, it's almost like something sudden, like a sudden change happens that forces you to have to go into this new journey. But I feel like it's leading you on to something really good because we have the Eight of Coins where it's like talking about long term again for you. You're writing down you're signing contracts, right? Not literally, but this is what the card is. Like you're signing some type of contract. So it's like, this is for like this is for a situation where it's like it's almost as if spirit's uprooting you. If we're using that example, spirit's uprooting you and forcing you to change because they know where it is that you're trying to go, and like not to say that you're stuck, but it's just like they're trying to give you that extra nudge so you don't get complacent, you don't get stuck in your situation. It was in your 10 minutes later. She couldn't get a reading off of me. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've been just doing like I've been doing this for so many years, and it's like I know a distinct difference when it comes to my messages. Like, whenever I try to force something, even with some of my videos, if I'm trying to force a reading, I can still have it resonate, right? I can still make a connection, but it's not gonna be as personable, so it's not going to be as impactful. So that's the thing, like like I'm not trying to be a diva in that way. It's really more so like I'm trying to provide you a better value, and if it's like I can provide like 10 times the better quality to you by just waiting like 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes, I'd rather just do that. All right, who else was waiting for? Actually, IDK, I can get you next. BC, you need to go, but thank you for your videos. Take care, BC. I really appreciate your words. I hope you have a good rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. Alright, let's get into IDK. We have the Lover's card for you, and 10 of Coins. Y'all, if this card comes out one more time... Am I not shuffling this properly? No, I am shuffling. This is a card for you, but it's... This 5 of Cups. Like... My gosh, a lot of you guys are moving on from something. And with the 10 of Coins for you, I'm going to pull a couple more cards for you, IDK, before I start this. Sundisk, did I get to you? I hope you have a good break, have a good rest of your day, Sundisk. Let me know if I didn't get to you. I swore I thought I did, but in case I didn't, let me know, and I can reach out to you privately after. Take care, Hez. Okay, good. Okay, so I have IDK. For you, I have the 10 of Coins. I pulled the Sun card. I have to remember that I'm on live stream, so I usually when I'm doing these types of reading or doing any type of reading, I usually will edit out my facial reactions. But let me see here. I really kind of associate this. My teeth are. I promise you, my teeth are not cute. That's like the one thing listen. I have no shame in saying, like, you know how people, whenever they come into money and they'll just start doing plastic surgery, but they try to keep it a secret. Like, the only thing that will happen to me when I come into money is the only thing I want to change is my teeth. Not that, like, I'm insecure about them that much or anything. I'm really not at all. And I really want to keep my gap, but I don't know. I just like a nice, like, perfect smile. Not saying that if you don't have like the perfect smile that it's a bad smile, but it's just like for me, I just like that's just something I would really enjoy. Like because like the thing is like no one asked for this, but my teeth I feel like are not big enough for me for my mouth because like I have bigger lips. So like whenever I'm smiling, you don't really get to see them. And so I feel like if I had just like nice teeth, I would be able to have like a really nice smile. So yeah, that would be the only thing I would be changing with myself in the coming days, is just getting some veneers. But yeah, completely signed off. Janet, I did say that I'm not gonna repeat myself here. Please stop trying to be pushy on this. I said that I will be doing people when I feel called to it. I did see you, but you being pushy in this way is not gonna, it's more so frustrating and insulting to me. I appreciate you and I'm not trying to single you out, but I will promise you I will get to you with patience. So, IDK, let's get into you. 10 of Coins, you have 10 of Coins and the Sun card. This is, to me, you're signing... I feel like there's another party involved with this. Because, like, it's almost like you're pursuing something. Let's say, like, you're wanting to do, like, a business decision when it comes to, like, you want to do, like, a cupcake. You want to have, like, a bakery. It's almost as if, like, you want to do this bakery with somebody, and it's, like, some type of deal of some sort. So it doesn't have to be, like, a deal. that you're working with, and you have to almost... I was trying to make these readings short, but I almost want to pull another clarifier. You have to almost... I feel like there's like a friction of some sort, or like a... It's almost as if, like, by you pursuing, or like by you going forward with what it is that you want, like continuing on with the bakery example, it's like by you pursuing this bakery thing with this individual, something happens because of it. Well, not something happens, but it's because of this you get this kind of like a you almost... it's like a... yeah, okay, yeah, the cat card. The cat card talks about codependency. The cat card talks about codependency, so it's like if you going forward with like having like your own bakery, it would be like as if like you maybe like you worked at like in bakery before, and like you wanted to have like your own restaurant or whatever. And so it's like you having to separate yourself from this, and it's like that upsets people in some type of way. And it may... I feel like it's going to be upsetting someone close to you or have some type of emotion associated with you, because with the Five of Cups and the Ace of Swords, it's like I feel like this is like a... it's like I keep on feeling like a blow to the chest almost. Not to sound like depressing of some sort, because really I don't see this as a depressing thing. It's almost just like a... it's almost like by you coming into your power, someone that you were codependent towards, or someone that was used to you at a certain level, was not... is not disappointed by it, but it's just like more so just like frustrated by this, by you coming into your power, because it's either like maybe they just don't have as much control over you, but that's like a negative way, and I don't like that. So maybe it's just like a, you know, by you going into your power, it makes other people realize like what else they could be doing with their lives, so it's like they're not responding as well towards it. So I feel like this is kind of just like a heads up for you. Overall, you have really good cards. You know, you have a really... things are building up wonderfully for you with the Ace of Swords and the Sun and the Lovers coming in. So it's... and the Ten of Coins. But again, there's like talking about the closure of some type of cycle. It's almost just like the cycle when it comes to this codependency with somebody, or like this grasp that someone had with you, or like the realm of thinking that they had with you is coming to a closure, and there might just be some hard, bad feelings a little bit. Hello, Shane. How are you doing? Hello, Eldoria. I love your videos, by the way. If y'all don't know who Eldoria is, if you look up the Crow Cove with Eldoria Crow, she does like raps as well, but she's she is... I love her Instagram videos the most. Anytime I'm going on Instagram, the stuff that she posts... I'm not saying her YouTube stuff isn't... I don't enjoy her YouTube stuff, but like her Instagram stuff is like a nice, refreshing stuff to see in your feed, if that makes sense. Hello. Okay, who else is waiting for a reading right now? Can you let me know in chat? All right. Of course, IDK. All right. The card came out when I was reading Lucy's. Hello, something, something. And yes, I promise you guys I'll have time for... I will get to you guys. I just need patience. But yeah, it's more of just like a situation of if you're able to be here as long as you can, then I promise you I'll get to you at some point. It's not a situation of like, you know, I'm not going to be that person who's like, oh, I just can't read you tonight. That never happens for me. It's just like I just like giving quality. For you, Lucy Light, all right, let's jump into this for you, Lucy Light. Let's get a good flow with this so I can make sure I can get out to everyone. So for you, Lucy Light, we have the Empress card, Archangel Gabriel. I did just mention Gabriel. Number 3 for you, so write that down. But also the Renewal card came forward to you as well, so the number 2. So when you have the Empress card, the Six of Earth as well. I feel like you're being asked to close off something. I say this because for your clarifiers, we had the Star card, the Four of Swords, and then the Eight of Swords. So this could be just like closing off for, you know, this could be even just like the verbiage that you have in your own mental. But with these three cards coming forward to you, this is like, let me explain this. The Empress is letting you know your potential. The Empress is letting you know that you could have something, like whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, it could very well be abundance. So if you're trying to manifest like a lover in your situation, if you're trying to manifest money, you very easily could. But there's like something that you need to stop the cycle of, or you need to cut off. I really almost want to say, not to say that like what happened to you and like what initially stopped you is what is or not to say that you stopped yourself, right? I feel like there was some type of initial thing that happened. So let's say like you know, this is like very much so the energy of someone that like wanted to be like an Olympic runner, and then they ended up like while in the process of training they ended up breaking their knee. You ended up breaking your knee, and it's through that action that kind of puts you in like this trench of where you kind of just like it puts you like it stopped it put a pause to your training, right? And then it's just like almost as if like it was you sitting in that energy. So then it's like afterwards where it's like your knee's completely healed now, but it's like you're still sitting in this energy, where it's like you're still like taking that blow from what happened because it didn't go as planned, as right. um so it's like you were like some type of obstacle came forward to you and knocked you down, but then it's just like now you're not wanting to quite get back up yet. Hello, Carl. Kalei, Kalai. Can you let me know how to say your name so I don't mispronounce your name? But yeah, this is like a situation where it's like coming to terms with things, where it's just like and I feel like this is just like, so it's like one of those things of, if again going with the Olympic runner, being like, okay, yeah, I didn't get to have this training for 6 months, so maybe I won't be able to perform as good as like these other Olympic runners, Kaylee. So you wouldn't be able to perform as well as these other. Well, no, that's like a narrative in your head, right? You think because like you ended up having to have like this period of rest, or like this obstacle that happened, this bump on the road, it gave you like this defeatist attitude, and now this is spirit's really kind of challenging you in the sense of like addressing this defeatist attitude to go back, you know, into addressing it so you can go into this new direction and releasing it so you can go back to reaching for like your star, or you being like the Olympic runner, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. So it's just like look at whatever bump in the road that happened to you at some point in time and see if you are giving it more power than it needs to. Does that make sense? Octo, I can get to you next if I don't remember. Yeah, Octo, I think you said you were waiting for a reading next. Hello, Star Ruby. I think I said hello to you before, but for anyone that's new, Kaylee as well, I'm gonna be doing. I just go with whoever I feel energetically pulled to after each reading, but I do promise you I'll get to each one of you as I'm doing this, right? There is no like specific wait list, just because that's just not how energy works with my type of readings. So I do promise I will get to you though. If you're patient with me, and I'll be patient with you. My chat disconnected on my computer. Okay. Actually, for Octo, I don't feel drawn to doing this one. For Octo, I feel like using Necronomicon. But yeah, I hope that was helpful to you, Lucy. And let's get into the moon cards now. See, that makes sense, Lucy. Yeah, I feel like whatever your roadblock was when it came to dancing, it like was, I'm not even trying to say it's gonna be like try to serve as like a learning lesson, right? That just sounds like a cop-out. But it's almost as if like after that obstacle or that bump in the road, it's like put more of a pause in you than it should, because it's like you have that Empress potential, right? You have like this abundance potential, and it's just a matter of getting back on that horse. It's one of those things that's just like when you fall off that horse, you just get back on it instead of just sitting in that energy, because it's never getting back on that horse is never going to get easier the longer you wait. If anything, it's going to be harder. So it's one of those things that just like you know, going at it with your ego. Hello, Jada. How are you? Okay. All right. Before... Okay, yeah, there's Octo. All right, so for you, Octo, I pulled 3 moon cards, and I pull 3 Necronomicon. So the Necronomicon ones, I have the World card, the Knave of Discs, and the Death card. This is almost like you, I'm going to just use your example, your YouTube channel as the example here. Which, by the way, for anyone that's listening to this right now, Octopussy, OctoXPussy has a tarot channel as well, which I suggest everyone checking out. So, but yeah, I'm going to use Octopussy's tarot channel as the example for her reading here. So the World card, this is talking about a new perspective on something, and it's through getting a new perspective. This could be just you being inspired to do something. So maybe you watched a, maybe you randomly were inspired to become like a love pick a card channel, or like a love zodiac reading channel, right? Which I kind of feel like just something like, as like a side note, I feel like maybe you would really thrive in if you just specialized in doing love readings for zodiac signs, Octo. I say this through my own intuition, but also through the Knave of Disc, because it's like you're bearing your heart out for everyone to see. So it's almost like you having to make the choice to be vulnerable in something, and it's through this vulnerability you start having this vulnerability, because it's like this a perspective changes where it's just like, you know what, it's time for me to really start embracing it, working through your fears, right? The new moon in Scorpio, it's like through you working through your fears, it's like a healing time for you, the balsamic moon. And that's when you start bearing all, that's when you start being more vulnerable, and that's when this new, like you have this death moment where it's just like this old phase, this old cycle comes to an end, because it's like almost as if you elevated in some level. And then we just have like a beautiful affirmation through, if you were to do like a love reading, right? Through this, whatever, through whatever project it is, you have the full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is in forecast. So it's through this, like it's a very just like forward reading, in the sense that it's just I feel like you're being asked to be more vulnerable in whatever sense of the word it is, and that's when something happens where you get a change of perspective with the World card, and that's when this cycle ends, or like this death moment happens, and it's like this rebirth of something really good. But this death, it doesn't have to be representation of like something dramatically happening. It could just be like the death of just like you trying to do something that just wasn't of resonance to you before and wasn't working with you before. Brujo, are you still here? Hello, Adam. I have not gotten to your reading yet. Alright, I'm going to be doing your reading next, Brujo, because I don't think I did you yet. I don't do question readings. I just do general messages for whatever spirit feels like bringing forward. If you want, I do have a yes and no pick a card on my channel for when it comes to those types of questions, or if you're wanting like just specific insight with me on questions, I have on my website several listings for readings, for private readings with me, and I can get into more detail. Yeah, that's just, it's more so just the dynamic of everything. That's why I don't just like do like a wait list either, right? Because it's like, it's because it's all intuitive and all through energy. It's like I like to have these be as beneficial as possible. So it's like if spirit really if it's almost like, you know, if spirit has the opportunity, if your spirit guide has the opportunity of reaching a message to you that wasn't being reached before, I'd rather have them take up the opportunity now of being able to relay that for you, and have it be potentially impactful, and may even just answer your question to begin with. But yeah, when it comes to like question readings and stuff like that, it's more so because like I'm overtly detailed. I mean, even with these readings I'm doing now, they're overtly detailed compared to most tarot readers when they're doing these types of readings, general readings for people. And so it's like I have to like refrain myself. So I would have to pull a lot more cards to get like a specific answer for some type of question. All right. For you, Brujo, I feel like you're being asked to how would I put this? You're being asked to perhaps, how would I make this like an analogy? It'd be almost as if like a change of environment, like you're being asked to change your environment, but involving other people. So it's like if you're wanting to like move out, for example, I feel like you're being called or suggested to moving out with other people, perhaps. Um, yeah, because I say this, let me just start showing the cards so it makes sense for you guys. You have the Three of Cups, and so it's like a three-party situation here. But I pulled the Panda card where you're being asked to create a space for yourself. So it's like these Three of Cups in this Panda card coming forward to you. This is like a... yeah, this is why I would say is like you're being asked to have like your own space with involving someone that you feel close to. But I feel like before you do this decision, you have to do some shadow work of some type, because the Tortoise card did come forward where it's talking about you being fragmented. So I would say perhaps what I would do... It's... I feel like the reason why you're being asked to like self-reflect a little bit is because it's like you have the Two of Discs and the Two of Wands coming forward to you. So you're being asked to self-reflect because I feel it's as if it's one of these, it's like a situation of where it's, you could work well with someone, you could live really well with somebody, right? If we're gonna just continue the analogy of like moving in with somebody, you could do this. But it's like, it's through this like situation that it's going to trigger a lot in you and have, yeah, it's just gonna trigger a lot in you, and you're just being suggested to just like being aware of it and just in yourself and be actively working on it, just so that way you can, you know, so it's like if you move in with like your best friend, but like you already had like the underlying insecurity of abandonment issues. If you don't work through your abandonment issues before moving in with this individual, it could cause some problems in the future. Am I still doing readings? Hello, Carissa. If you're crushing on some man, if you're crushing on some man, the only thing I would say, just as like a potential perspective as well, is like the Three of Cups comes forward. When you see the Three of Cups coming forward, and it makes sense when you have the two, you had two different twos come in as well. With the Three of Cups, it usually also signifies that like it could be like a third party, like you could end up being like the other person might be involved with somebody, sort of thing. But I'm not, you know, like the reading, like I would have to pull more cards to like know that in specific, but that is just something that just to keep in mind about. It's like that's what the Three of Cups can represent in that way. Krista, you have nothing to be sorry about. And Octo, what do you mean by if I had a message? Were you not here when I gave your reading, Octo? If you weren't here for your reading, Octo, that's fine. I can try to find the timestamp for it later for you, and I can let you know where your reading is for your, because I did your spread. All right, who was waiting for a reading next? Anyone that's waiting for a reading next, can you fill up my chat now and let me know? Even if you just said that you're waiting for a reading, I just need to like have a, it's easier for me to like just look at a whole list of people. And let me catch up on this message. My boyfriend's coach just passed away. It's crazy how I landed here all of a sudden because he was very special to him and supportive. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Oh my goodness, when I said flood the chat. I didn't anticipate so many people. Vanessa Jacobs, I saw that you said that you would like to donate for a reading. I don't have a donation thing set up, so it'd probably be a little bit difficult to plan that right now on this live stream without taking a bunch of time. But if you would like to do that, we can. I would suggest it'd probably be easier to set this up over Instagram, where it's just like on Simply Velga, or actually email me. That's where we can do it. I'll type it out in chat. Email me, Vanessa, and I'll get to you after this live reading. And probably be easier to do it that way. Shane, let's do you. Yes. Oh, okay, you didn't know which direction to go. I can do that for you, Octo, later on. I'll hit you up on Instagram later. For that. But Shane Lint, let's get into your reading. What cards? We'll do Moon. Also, I have a question for everybody that's still watching this. What did y'all eat today? Or like, yeah, like what did y'all eat today? Me personally, did I eat today? No, I ate late last night, so I haven't been in the mood to eat. That's another thing. I turned 25 in October, and something I've known with my old age, or not that 25 is old, but it's like something that I like, my first thing that I noticeably have noticed with my body as I gotten older is that I can't eat and then go to bed like I used to anymore, because then I just have like, it's not heartburn, I don't get heartburn, but like I just feel like ugh. And I never used to be that way, and that gave me a quarter life crisis in its own right. Realizing my body is changing. Fried chicken and fries. Seafood gumbo. See, I don't like seafood, but I love gumbo. Fried chicken and fries. I was planning on doing that actually for Thanksgiving for my roommate and I, since I don't like turkey. Good night, Brujo. I appreciate your kind words, by the way. I hope you have a good sleep. Cereal. It's awful. I know it's awful, but it's never bothered me before. It's never like impacted like my digestive system. So it's just like a waffle and chips. Ah, that sounds so good. Add lentils. Anything this great. Vegan curry. See, yeah. I had, did I even tell y'all what I ate last night? I ate last night. I made like this, like, I call it like a stir fry, where it's really just like cut up cabbage, purple cabbage, and ground chicken with, I don't even remember what it was, teriyaki sauce. Yeah, it's like I cooked it in teriyaki sauce. So I guess it was like a stir fry, like a really lame stir fry. I had that, and I had oatmeal. But Shane, let's get into your reading now. I have your cards. We have the Five of Cups, we have the Justice card, and we have the Six of Cups. So you could be dealing with a Libra, because that is like their sign, but that's just like, this more so could just be speaking of like the energy that you want to be exuding more of, or taking inspiration from more, Shane. And what that means is being like becoming like approaching things from a more balanced place. And I kind of suspect that it is, because it's like we have the Five of the Cups with the Justice card. So it's like, this could be one of two ways. This could be someone that is enabling you to do bad habits. So let's just say that you have a friend that likes drinking, likes partying a lot. This person could be enabling you to do that, or you could just be having some type of thing that is out of balance in your life, and that something, you know, this Five of Cups is just like indulging in something that just isn't of, what's the word for it? That isn't providing anything of value for you. That's kind of, we have the Six of Cups as well. So this is leading me to believe that it's like yeah, this is letting me know that you're giving your energy into something that just is like not of value to you. You're offering something, like, and this could be just like, maybe you're trying to like get the attention of somebody, and it's just like, no matter how much time, how many messages you send, no matter what you do, like, they're just not giving you the time of day, right? It doesn't matter, like, they're not looking at whatever it is, or appreciating whatever it is that you're offering. You're being asked to move on from it in some sense of the word. But then it's interesting because we have your moon cards, which I feel like is kind of talking about like a separate message, funnily enough, which is usually different, not happening for me. We have the full moon in Aries talking about a fiery climax approaches. The new moon in Capricorn, your hard work is paying off. And then the gibbous moon, you're very close to achieving your goals. I feel like this is two separate things. Because this is kind of giving me like the signal. I mean, you have two different cards saying like things are about to really start happening and go down for you in a good way. This is what it's saying, but then this is saying something that you need to be aware of and releasing. Does that make sense? So it's almost like, what example can I give? I don't know. I don't know a good example for this. It'd be like a job opportunity coming your way, and it's like through this job opportunity that you have to finally be like, okay, let me look at the bad habits. Let's use modeling, right? If I wanted to model, then it's just like, okay, I clearly cannot be eating stir fry right before I go to bed, right? And so it's almost like spirit saying, it's like, hey, like, your blessings are coming. They're coming quickly. So those plans that you keep on saying is like, oh, I'll just wait until later when it's closer to achieving my goal, da da da. Like, I'll wait until it's closer, right? That excuse. That spirit's letting you know it's coming, it's happening, and it's time to start making that change, not making those changes now. Does that make sense? Oh, it was an old message? Yeah, my computer was like in and out of the internet. So maybe it was just like yeah, oatmeal. You eat like a stoner even though you don't do drugs. Oatmeal is such a comfort food for me. Plus, I don't know what's happened with me. I'm the kind of person now recently that I like to end like on a sweet note with anything that I'm eating. So it's like oatmeal was like the only thing that I could think of. Of course, Shane. And thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. I personally don't, no, I don't want to say that. No, actually, I do. I don't really care for my voice, but it's through the compliments that I've gotten, especially on YouTube, that I've learned to deal with my voice. And it's also through having to listen to myself for hours while editing videos. That's the things, like, you have to get real accustomed to your voice. All right. Let me actually just scroll up and see. Yeah, honestly, I really enjoy I really enjoy cabbage, especially purple cabbage. I don't know if it even makes a difference in terms of flavor. But let's look at this. Sierra, are you still here, Sierra? Okay, Sierra, I can do your reading next. It is really good. Like, I don't know what, like, I feel as if cabbage is like a slept-on vegetable. And I don't know if cabbage even provides that much nutrients. Maybe it doesn't. But I don't know, it's just such a... I know it has like low calories, and that's not why I eat it. I just eat it because I genuinely enjoy it. But it's like, it's one of those things that's like, I feel like cabbage is like, not like tofu, because it's not tofu, but I feel like cabbage takes on the flavor of whatever it is that you're trying to make, right? So it's like you're trying to do like a barbecue. I feel like you could just do barbecue seasoning on cabbage, and it's just gonna taste like barbecue. So it's like when someone says they don't like cabbage, it's just like, well, did you use seasoning? That's like... All right, Sierra, let's get into your reading. All right, so we have the Hanged Man for you, the Strength card, and the Four of Cups. For you, I don't even feel like pulling any clarifiers for you. I feel like this is kind of sums this up in of itself. This Four of Cups is letting me know... Do I speak boldly? Yeah, we're going to speak boldly. So with this Four of Cups, this is letting me know that there's some type of interaction, maybe some type of fight that happened or conflict that happened. And it didn't really pan out well. Or like a misunderstanding. It doesn't have to be like a fight. How many times can I cover my chest? My goodness. Some type of interaction where it didn't really pan out well, I feel. And it probably triggered a lot because we have the strength card, and the strength card is just like the embodiment of shadow work, where it's just like you're having to pull out your inner strength into something because it's like something was really upsetting. The Hanged Man, I feel like this could be either you know your situation best, right? I'm not gonna, so it could be for either you or the other person, other parties involved. But I feel as if like there was through some type of misunderstanding, or through some type of, even if it's not with the social connection, where it comes to like some type of action, it's like you pursued something and committed to it, and it's just like maybe even like halfway through you kind of realize like, oh well, this isn't really panning out how I wanted it to pan out. But then you're just like, well, I already started this, so I might as well commit to it, sort of thing. That's the energy that I'm getting. And that's why the Hanged Man is coming forward. So this is leading me to believe that for these cards to come forward, I feel like you're being asked from Spirit to, before you continue committing to a decision, look inwardly. This is one of those situations where I talked about again before, where it's just like, are you thinking? It's hard to decipher sometimes. It's like, are you functioning or making a decision based off of ego? Are you, or intuition, or common sense or logic? Right? So it's like kind of hard to decipher. I feel like with this card coming forward, this is like Spirit led asking you to take a step back, take the emotion out of it, calm down a little bit, and look inwards to see why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, or why you're thinking the things that you're thinking before you continue on. This is not saying that you're necessarily making a bad decision. It's just saying that I feel like you're functioning off of, or like a choice is being made not knowing the whole picture, knowing all the details, or being too, I don't want to say too emotional, because look, who am I talking to? I posted videos of me crying on YouTube. But adding more emotion into it, where logic, you would appreciate logic instead being invested into it. All right. Kaylee, I did mispronounce your name. Kaylee, are you still here? Hello, kitten. Your internet is acting a little weird. I don't think I did see your first comment, but hello, kitten. All right, for you, Kaylee, I pulled your cards really quickly. So you have the Ace of Cups, the Two of Swords, and then the Hermit card. You're being asked to, I feel like you're engaging in something that you don't entirely trust. It's like, you're doing something that your heart's not invested in, and you know it's not invested in, and instead of like taking a step back and leaving it, you're just still continuing on with it for whatever reason, and you being asked to hermit. So it's like the Ace of Cups and the Two of Swords coming forward. I'm going to show the Two of Swords because it's important for the imagery of this. It's like you're interacting with some type of individual, and then it's through this, like, but you don't trust them, right? Because it's like they're embracing, and then this individual, like homegirl right here, is holding a knife still, while homeboy over there is making out with her, and she doesn't even he doesn't even realize it. So it's like you don't trust it, and I feel like this cup, like this Ace of Cups here, while it could usually be like a beautiful sign, I feel like it's just almost like Spirit just being like, why are you pursuing something that's not fulfilling to you emotionally? Why are you doing something that you don't trust as it is? It's like, if you, like, do you really want this? Is it really something that's fulfilling to you if you're having to hold this knife there while you're connecting with them? Because if you don't have the trust there, then it's just like, why bother with it? So it's like, that's why the Hermit card comes forward, where it's just like, I feel as if it's like you're being asked to just like separate yourself from this. Maybe not like obviously like taking yourself out of this relationship entirely, but like the Hermit card comes in where it's like a time of self-reflection of being like, okay, why am I holding this knife while still working with this individual? Why am I like doing this if I don't trust them? So it would be as if like a situation where you know, then this could be a maybe like you don't trust them. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we don't want to just like villainize this homeboy over here right off the bat, right? Not to say that you holding your knife isn't justifiable, but there's a reason why you're holding this knife in the first place, right? So it's like, is your reason, not to say is your reason valid, but it's like a, is your mind going places and just like taking a journey and like convincing yourself that this person isn't worth trusting, or is it legit? Not, I'm just asking that question because that's something that you would want to ask yourself when you're in that hermit phase. And I can relate to this heavily because it's like the narratives that we can convince ourselves in our head of like how certain situations are happening, we sometimes can feed into that negative narrative and we'll just convince ourselves of something that's entirely off base and off, you know, and we just continue on with it and we build that distrust for no reason, and this other individual doesn't even know what's happening. But if it is valid, like that's the thing, you'll know if it's valid or not going through this hermit mode, and that's when you make this decision. But ultimately, it needs to still just be addressed in whatever action that you do, because it's like how you're going at it right now, it's not fulfilling you, it's like wasting your time, and it's just like, why are you doing it? Your relationship, you texted your ex today. You know, yeah, like I'm not gonna like speak on say that you shouldn't text your ex, right? But it's like a, what are your reasonings for texting that ex sort of thing, right? Will I be making more videos about working with demons? I want to. I want that pause. I really do want to. I don't want to only just be a tarot channel. Absolutely not. The thing is, it's like a, while I'm not trying to be just a tarot channel, apparently I'm trying to be an OnlyFans channel with how much I'm trying to show off my chest hair. While I'm not trying to be like a tarot channel, the tarot readings still take preference. So it's like until like I get that consistently going and like have those like able to like freely going, I don't want to like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to it's like a series. Like I don't want to just stop a series to make the side project work. I want to be able to have the series already flowing where it's like I can afford the time to do other things. And so it's like really it's a matter of like once I get organized, that's basically it. Once I get organized with my life. Let's see. All right, let me see. Who is next? Something something, are you still here? But yeah, I really did want to do a, I had a series planned where I wanted to do a daily spotlight for each one. So like I actually tried to record the Lilith one where I like talk about like my experiences with Lilith and like how I go about working with her and connecting with her and all that. Like that's a series I actively wanted to do, but it was a, I don't know, it was just like every time I tried to record it, it wasn't how I wanted it to quite be. So, but it's like, it is eventually coming. I promise you guys that my channel's not gonna just be a tarot channel. Like I still want my personality into it. It's just like just doing like the weekly zodiac was just like, it's a lot of work. Trying to do the weekly zodiacs on top of like keeping up with my paid readings as well. It's just like a lot of readings at once and trying to just like, my honey, my laptop is just, she's been going through it. She's just constantly doing some type of upload. I'm surprised that she hasn't just like combusted at this point. If she, once she combusts, hopefully, honey, y'all will know if Miss Mac over here combusts, because that's when like everything will just stop suddenly, because it's like, she's my lifeline. Miss Judy over here. My good Judy, she's been putting in the work. All right, something something. I'm going to be doing your reading next. But yeah, like I wanted to do like a deity spotlight for each of the and highlight each of the deities that I've worked with. So like Rossier and Archangel Michael and all that. So that's ultimately my goal. I want to say I probably will start doing it in December, but don't quote me on it just because it's like, honey, we we don't know what's happening this year. So, but yeah, that's ultimately if I were to like give you like a date of when to like potentially expect it. Probably once in December is when I'll be like organized and have my stuff. Once I have my shit together, basically. All right. So for you, something something, we have 6 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Cups. I don't know if you're dealing with a friction of some sort. Again, this is something I would like edit out because it's like I am too expressionate, and the last thing you want to see from your tarot reader is the expressions I have when I'm trying to read Stevie's messages. So I promise you, it's not bad though. Uh, hmm. I feel as if you're doing something that isn't sitting well with you. So it's like it would be as if, yeah, like I feel like you're doing something that's just not sitting well with you. I feel like you're making the choice for it, but I mean, maybe you feel as if like you don't have any other option, sort of thing. But the 7 of Cups comes in where it's just like you're making the choice to do something. It's almost as if like you're doing a job that you don't really want to do, but you feel like you have to. And it's like the 6 of Swords comes in where it's just like, yeah, it's something, it's like you're doing, it's some type of interaction of some sort. If it's not a job, it's some type of interaction where it's just like it's not being, it's like you know when it comes to like when you talk to certain people and it's like you have to have like some people you can just be really real with, and other people you have like a, maybe not like a persona, but you have to filter yourself, right? You have to filter yourself a lot. This is heavy energy where it feels like you're having to filter yourself or water yourself down heavily to go forward with something. You it's because that's the thing, like it's full moon in Pisces is talking about bringing balance to something, and the full moon in Aquarius is asking you to show the world the real you, the real you. So this is really such a energy of, yeah, like I can't get it out of my head of where it just feels like you're doing something that's just like it doesn't make you feel good while doing it. And this could be just be working, like talking about work, speaking to an individual perhaps too, because the it's something that you're actively doing, whether it's like an individual or some type of action of some sort that you're just, it's not, you're having to just like water yourself down, and it's through this effort of watering yourself down that you it just is kind of just like slowly just draining you on some level, and you're just being really pushed to show the world the real you. It's, and when it comes to tarot you always have to read in between the lines of this, right? So this is telling me it's like you're being pushed to be more like lean more into your authentic self in some type of way. And it's not me saying you're being inauthentic, but it's like, you know, maybe you're being pushed to just be more vulnerable. If you really like you know, I'll use myself as an example. If I actually had like a passion for knitting, but I kept on doing like these tarot videos because for whatever, like I felt like I told myself I wouldn't be successful on YouTube if I just did knitting videos instead of tarot videos. I would do those tarot videos, and it's like if it wasn't fulfilling to me, then it would just slowly just like, you know, it would just like through constant just like being weighed down or just constantly having to water yourself down, it's just not gonna be as, it's gonna like start taking effect even if it doesn't have immediate results right now. It's some, at some point it's gonna boil over. And so I feel as if like you're being asked to lean more into your authenticity, because that's really where like once you start going are in alignment with where like, as dramatic as it sounds, once you start living out your life purpose, that's when things are like spirit's going to actively start manifesting for you. But if it's like you're going down the wrong direction but you think you're going in the right direction, spirit's not going to manifest anything for you in that regard, because it's just like they're not going to manifest something that's not going to be for your highest good, that you don't actually want even though you think you want it, sort of thing. So it's almost as if like once you start becoming more in alignment with what makes sense to you, what feels good to you, that's when you're going to realize things are going to um, manifest themselves in a way that, what's the word I'm trying to say? Things will start working out in a way that you quite didn't anticipate, or in a good way. Maybe you didn't want to pursue this before because it didn't make sense, or you can't make sense of how it would work out, or how like you would be able to accomplish this in the first place, sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like overall for you, what I would take from your message is just like look at the things in your life that you can't be yourself around, and then from there make the decision of if you truly want that in your life if you can't be yourself, right? E.A. Koetting has a book about Belial. Yeah, I think I saw that he like wrote something about it. When it comes to, I don't know, when it comes to, let me not. It has nothing to do with EA in specific, but it's one of those things of where it's a, does my opinion really matter? Is it going to really add any value? I don't think it is, so. I guess it's my opinion when it comes to, it's not even just demons, but it comes to any type of connection when it comes to spiritual beings. I always suggest for people to connect with them themselves before you read too much into what everyone else says. And it could be good or bad. Like I could be talking about Rossier and I could be saying like, oh wow, like Rossier's changed my life. And that sounds so sarcastic. He has changed my life. I have a video with Rossier. Like I can gush about him, but your experience with him is not me like have like a complete, like my perspective of him may be completely different compared to you for a multitude of reasons. Rossier resonates with me because, as cheesy as it sounds, like I want to, like my ultimate goal in life is being able to learn how to love the deepest that I can in every aspect of my life, even if it does me harm. And so it's right up my alley. So if I wrote a book on Rossier, you read it, and then you like you'll have it from that bias, right? Anything that's written down when it comes to spirituality is bias, from based off of a bias. And so I feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping, which I'm not saying E.A. Koetting, I don't think he does, but like just in general, there's like so much gatekeeping, or where people are just like, oh, don't work with this being initially because they're this and that. I real Girl, I've been I've been spiritually practicing and actively working with beings for over 15 years, and I've yet to experience a single being that I went to respectfully through astral projecting, not me just sitting in meditation. It's me literally leaving my body and going to my astral space and connecting with them. Like I've never experienced a bad situation from it. Like I feel like you'll get such a better perspective for any being if you work with them initially, or if you just start that contact and you start building up that energetic rapport. But yeah, it's nothing to do with E.A. Koetting's book. I never read it or anything like that. It's just one of those things that I just like to, that's part of why I wanted to do the deity spotlight when it comes to like Lilith and stuff, so I could just explain. It's just like my experience with Lilith and how I go about working with Lilith may be a different dynamic to you. Doesn't make my experience any more right than yours. It's more of like a situation of it's one of those things where it's like I don't feel like there's any like person that can speak for a fact of how any type of being will be. And so I don't know, I always like to just remove pedestals, and I feel like it's important to read information where everyone's on an equal playing field. And I feel like people don't give justice to themselves and their own abilities to work with these beings because of whatever reason, because they think that they're dangerous to work with or what have you, whatever story it is. So it's like nothing against E.A. Koetting's book or anyone's book. I love books, I love reading about it, but I always treat everyone's writings as just like hearing a perspective, but don't set that up to be the expectation for how Belial will come to you, because Belial came to E.A. Koetting in whatever way because of just his energy and like his space and his approach and his intentions, right? So yeah, that was a long spiel. That's the most That's really the way. But I'm always just like cautious in when I come speak about it because it's like it really will rub people the wrong way. I find my way approach to spirituality brushes a lot of people's egos the wrong way because it's just like I refuse to just put anyone on a pedestal, including myself. Yeah, that's a thing, Shane. Like, that's a story that's so common when it comes to Lilith, and it's just like a. I mean, I literally have her sigil. I'm not gonna show it because it's like y'all gonna see a lot more than just my shoulder if I try to show it. But it's like I have her sigil. I've worked with her for almost 10 years now, and it's not been the case. It just comes from like a bias because it's just like people read like the lore, and that's the thing too. I don't get too caught up in the lore of any type of being and where they came from because again it's not like Lilith herself came down and wrote down like this is how I was born, this is like whatever. Everything is written off of a bias. We can and we go into these connections like with the surface level understanding of what we think is the story, but it doesn't probably that doesn't mean it's actually the case. It's no different than someone really taking the Bible and saying, "Oh, well God like Jesus walked and did all of this, right? So it must have happened." It's like, no. And that's the thing, when especially when it comes to the left-handed path, people are so triggered by it when I say it's just like like writings are not the end all be all. It's all everything that's written down spirituality is through someone's filter, through someone's bias. And I never want someone to put anyone else's writings or views above their own because EA quetting is no different than you. I'm no different than you. Like, you could do readings as well. Like, there's no right answer. And I always just want people to, like, people are so afraid of diving headfirst into spirituality, but spirituality really is the place of where you can dive headfirst in, as long as you're being respectful, right? Being responsible about it. You're not going like people like to make things a lot scarier than it actually is in spirituality because that's the only way that they can gatekeep or make themselves feel special. And this is coming from someone that was in a cult. Let me preface this. This is coming from the tone of someone that was in a cult and was able to like have a behind the scenes view of how all these egos were functioning, and it was just like a lot for me. So again, that's where I'm coming from. It has nothing to do with EA quetting. I have just had a very personal, rich history with the metaphysical community. So, what would make a demon not connect with you? It would be more so just respect, but that's just like with anything, right? I would like to say when it comes to like, I mean, yeah, it just with anything. It's like if you come to me, like if someone came into my chat right now, y'all saw it earlier, where it's like someone demanding a reading, like either like I just put my hand down, it's like I'm not doing it, like stop, or it's just like wait your turn, like whatever, right? It's if you cut like it's all about like the intent behind it and how you are going about working with them in the first place. If you connected with Rossier and you just wanted someone to, you wanted him to manifest your lover, consider from that point of view where it's just like okay, if someone only went to you because they want something from you, maybe if you caught them in a good mood they will like they will help you along. If and chances are most of the time they may not, right? Especially if you're just wanting it for free. It's I find a lot of people will well, not dehumanize because they're not human, but they don't just like consider like just the social thing about the social dynamic of anything. It's just like you're not going to be, you know, if you willing, like that's the thing. Like I work with Rossier because I'm truly interested in learning his knowledge and just learning his perspective really. And it's like through that, if he manifests someone for me, that's lovely. But it's like a, you know, I find that I have a much easier time working with Rossier compared to like maybe some other people because it's like I'm not coming at it from a place of wanting anything. I'm just coming at it wanting to be a fly on the wall and just learning from him. So it's just a matter of the intent behind it and how you're going about it. If you go about it from a way of just like wanting to learn from them, wanting to truly just have it just be more than just like a trade or just like a give and take or whatever, tit for tat. Yeah, it's just long story short, it's about the intention behind it. Can they read thoughts in something? All right. Actually, I am going to. Star Ruby, I'm going to get to you next. I'm going to start doing your cards next. I mean, I'm probably going to just wrap it up on the reading portion for now because, again, I still have to do the recordings for the Zodiac readings for tomorrow, and I still have some private readings I have to do tonight. Intention is absolutely everything. I'm going to be honest here. It's obviously there's still going to be like the personality that you have to consider for each of the beings, but the intention is like spiritual, like spirituality is more about the intentions behind something. And if you have like a bad experience when it comes to something spiritual, because I have the function that your thoughts are energy and we're constantly manifesting, I would consider if someone had like a bad experience with Rossier, my first question would be, well, what was your mindset when you first went with him, or what was like, I would ask about the environment of what set it up to be that way, not dismissing their experience, but more so trying to figure out, it's like, okay, well, how can we like, let's treat this as a real thing. Like, that's my approach to spirituality. It's like, I'm treating everything like from a very real place. I'm not gonna just say it's just like, I feel like there has to be a rhyme or reason to something. Like, Rossier is not gonna just like attack you just because, right? If anything, he's just not going to acknowledge you. So if you feel like you were attacked, well, let's ask questions. Let's narrow this down. Let's figure out why you had that experience in the first place, rather than just making this assumption that it has something to do with the being, because that's a projection. At that point, you're projecting your issues onto this being, which let's like take it a step further. It's like we like to humanize these emotions and these enlightened beings, right? That's what they are. Like, these deities, they're enlightened beings. So it's like, it's no different than like seeing like an elder. It'd be weird if you saw like your grandparents like act out of character, or see like someone that of an older age. I guess it wouldn't be weird considering if you look at American politics now in the government. But like, it's out of character. You wouldn't expect it from an elderly person to sink into the gossip of things, right? So it's like people will humanize these enlightened beings and attach very not low vibrational things to it, but like very human, emotional human perspective on them. And it's just, I don't know, that's like a whole, y'all, this is why I don't do that many spiritual videos, because it's just like, I'm more about like empowerment and treating this like a real thing, and not about like speaking, I don't know. Let me jump into your reading, Star Review. Hello, Brianna. I do card readings. I'm going to be closing out for the night, though, for when it comes to readings, because I still have to do some stuff, but I probably will hang out for about, like, maybe 10 more minutes. But let's jump into your reading now, Star Ruby. We have the Queen of Swords, the King of Discs, and the Temperance card. So, the Queen of Swords, King of Discs, and the Temperance. You're being asked to have patience with something. I feel as if this is telling me something's pissing you off, or something's frustrating you, and you want to come from a place of maybe not cutting. This is like, again, this is like my perception on things and how I translate things. Like, how I would associate this with myself. Okay, let me just speak from the perspective of how I would translate this if I got these cards for myself. If I saw this, I would be saying, it's like, okay, what social connection, or what am I being hard on? What am I being hard on? Like, am I being hard on like a type of friendship? I'm being overly critical? That's the thing. That's the word I was looking for. Overly critical. What am I being overly critical on that I'm trying to make happen sooner than it is, or, something? I feel like you're being asked to... I feel like you're being asked to, like, soften up a little bit in some type of way, have a softer approach to something. Because you have the South Node, don't let your past hold you back, which leads me to think that perhaps, like, maybe your patience is wearing thin with somebody or a situation because of, like, a past situation, and it's just, like, triggering something. Apparently triggers, like, the word I like to use tonight. But it's like, you're handling a situation in the now in a specific way because of something that happened to you in the past. Does that make sense? So maybe you don't have as much patience for like an individual that is just trying to find their way, because you dealt with that before, but from their end, like this is their first time like going through it. So it's just like you may not just like it's kind of like a toddler, you know, when you're watching a toddler and they like you tell them it's like don't eat that, and they eat it anyways. You know, while it can be frustrating to deal with, you have to kind of put it in perspective, being like, well, that's what toddlers do. That's not a good example when it comes to the don't let your past hold you back. It would be like a if you're like in a relationship with someone that never let you speak, that always interrupted you, and then you ended that relationship and you go forward into your new relationship, and like the first time like you're dating someone and the first time they interrupt you, it's almost as if like it really sets you off, or like you have less patience where it's like, oh well, this person's list no different than this last one, like bye, like you already know, you feel like you already know the story, so you're washing your hands clean of it, sort of thing. Feel like you're being asked to soften it up a little bit or have a kinder approach to something. The full moon in Leo, don't let your pride get in the way. Again, this is like asking you to have like a little softer approach. The new moon in Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. So yeah, I feel as if this is like more so of a spirit's trying to give you a reassurance on something, and maybe not like softening up your views on something, but more of a maybe you don't have to stress as much as you were stressing on something. Does that make sense? So it'd be like you know, maybe if you had like money issues before, you ended up homeless before at one point, and now like money's starting to get tight for you. You may start stressing out a lot more because of like that past experience, and that you know you don't want to be homeless, so it starts stressing you out. You start getting anxiety. Um, Spirit's really trying to let you know it's like everything's gonna be okay. You know, don't stress too much about it. Don't let your pride get in the way. You know, maybe, and this could be in a couple of ways. Maybe this could be in a situation of where you are. I'm sorry, I just saw a notification and just completely threw my train of thought on this Star Ruby. But it's like I feel like what I'm trying to say in terms of like softening you up, maybe like showing more of your vulnerable side, you know, because don't let your pride get in the way. It's kind of saying don't be afraid of like asking for help, or don't be afraid of saying like, hey, like I'm going through this, or being like, hey, this triggers me right now. So yeah, I feel like this is what I would say for you, Star Ruby. Practice more compassion, but not just compassion towards other people, compassion towards yourself, because this very easily could just be talking about like you being too hard on yourself, and being like feeling like you should be accomplishing more than what you have, right? This is all just about like an energy of where it's like not being as understanding as you could be in something, or not understanding, but not, yeah, you get the point. I feel like I kind of like drew that message out. I hope that was helpful to you though, Star Ruby. I'm grateful for your insight. I have taken these questions to people and they just say demons are deceptive and never work with them. This psychic medium told me all demons are aggressive. See, that's the thing. You always have to keep in mind when people are talking about demons, it comes from a place of definition at that point, right? Because hello, Carissa. I'm not going to be doing any more free readings. If you're wanting a private reading by me, then you can go to my website. But yeah, I don't just do free readings on outside of YouTube when it comes to live streams and videos. Hello, Jay. But yeah, when it comes to demons, like you always have to like figure out where the perspective they're speaking from, because um, for a lot of people's definitions for demons, it's just a malevolent being. So when you just say demon, that from their place, it's like, why would you want to work with a malevolent being? My definition of a demon is just like I guess like a race, a race or a type of being. So it's like does that make sense? So like you could be just speaking from two different perspectives or definitions, right? Like your definition, like this is something that always is like debated about, like dark arts and black arts. You know, people have different definitions when it comes to dark art spirits and dark black art spirits and all that. So it's like people will be arguing about the same thing, but basically be arguing about definition but not realizing it because they don't want to take that step back. So when it comes to when people are talking about demons, always just pay attention to their perspective and what their scope of knowledge is. Because if they don't have any experience towards it, or if their upbringing or their learnings are from just the place of like being taught that just demon, like the word demon, like if you're categorized as a demon, like you're going to be harmful, right? Someone could call me a demon, and that would be like, that's the thing, like I feel like demon is such a blanket word spiritual people will use if they don't connect with those energies actively. It kind of just goes back to like that, the definition that comes from like the Bible. I don't think the Bible came up with the definition of demons, but it's in that same process. It's funny when like, that's the thing I've always looked like, it was especially through when I was in a cult that I really learned how influenced people are from people's writings, even if they're against it. Like people on the left-handed path are so against the Bible, and well, some people, and they'll bash the Bible, they'll bash Christianity, but then their actions and their opinions on things still will align exactly with like the definitions and the wordings of the Bible and Christianity. So yeah, that's just something like it's one of those conversations that I can't really give like a short answer to, and it does sound like a cop out when I just say it's like, oh, consider the person, but it truly is like, again, it goes back to like each person's experience when it comes to like working with Belial, when it comes to Rossier, we all are functioning off of that. So it's just like if someone were to give you advice, that's when my brain would go to is like, okay, well, I would ask questions like, well, what is your belief systems on other things? Kind of getting a gauge for how their mind already is working, and then you can be like, oh, okay, that's the place that they're speaking from. Like we always have to, especially when it comes to spirituality, like none of us are speaking from the same level, from the same, because we just have all a completely different perspectives on things. So yeah, that's just something for you to like think about whenever you um, seek insight for anyone on anything, right? You are going to hear a completely different opinion when it comes to working with archangels and working with archangels for me compared to co-editing, right? I think EA, like that you guys mentioned earlier, like EA Quetting, like I think EA Quetting literally has a book called How to Rape an Archangel. Like his experience, like I can't say, like I can't dismiss his opinion and point of view on wanting to rape an archangel, but clearly we're never going to align because our paths and like our perspectives are just not the same in that way. We translate energies entirely differently. So it doesn't make him any more right or wrong, because that's the thing I've learned through as well, is like people do genuinely believe in whatever it is that they're believing in. If they're, well, for the most part. So it's like you have to give people the benefit of the doubt of assuming that they truly are experiencing what it is that they're experiencing. Just because you can't fathom it, just because I can't fathom that, that doesn't make his writings or experience any lesser than mine. It doesn't resonate with me, doesn't mean I agree with it and on a personal level, but I always have to keep my own ego in check of being like, if I were to like judge his experience and be like, oh, that's silly, that's not whatever, that would then in result be putting my experience on a higher pedestal. So it's like yeah, I don't know. So it's like we all have like our own personal opinions on things, right? But I think it's important, if we're going to speak something, that we put out that disclaimer and saying that this is not the true all be all. This is just a perspective. Take it or leave it. Some people, they clearly like that book. Yeah, that's the thing, So it's just yeah, it's I don't know why people would want to do that, or how that's possible, right? But that, again, like that just goes back to like my own scope of things and how I approach things. Nothing to do with him at all. Like clear, like I mean, let's be blunt here. Like let's be real. Obviously, I don't agree with it. Like I don't agree with EA Coding's writings when it comes to how to rape an archangel. But I'm also can acknowledge that like I don't agree with it because of my own stuff. I don't like, it's not like, that's the thing with spirituality. You can't prove or disprove something at all. I actually feel called to doing a general just spread in general, since I can't get everyone right now, and that'll be my way of wrapping up this video live stream. So if anyone is interested in that, I'm just going to be conducting with the energies here and see what I can get. But yeah, that's the thing. So again, I do want to preface, there's nothing to do with EA Wedding. It's just like a pay attention to, well, consider where the source of like, consider the individual of who you're asking their own experiences before you, and like before you ask a question, because that's the thing, like I feel as if when it comes to like E.A. Koetting's writings, you may have like a benefit, like if you were to, you know, if you were to ask me about Belial, compared to like, it's going to be a completely different view compared to E.A. Koetting's experience with Belial, because maybe he's worked with him more, right? So that's the thing. So it's like my scope of what I would understand or be able to speak on with Belial would be coming from my scope of experience. So not to say that I would be downplaying Belial ever, but maybe I wouldn't be able to give him the justice or be able to give the detail or personal experience that E.A. Koetting would, because he's coming from a place of, y'all get it, right? And that's the thing, like, people, like, spiritual path is a personal one. Everything's gonna resonate with people differently, you know? Clearly there's, like, an audience for E.A. Koetting, like, he's growing, he's doing just fine, right? So I feel like it's important to remember that it's just like even if it doesn't make sense to you or it doesn't make sense to me, it still makes sense to somebody. And when it comes to spirituality, if it makes sense to someone and it brings them peace in some kind of way, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, then it's like a, you know, and end of the day, we're all arguing about, or yeah, at the end of the day, we're all talking about imaginary things to someone that isn't spiritually involved, right? So it's like, what's the purpose? And we're not going to be able to prove it. As much as people want to pretend like they can like have like tangible results of like something spiritual, like there's a reason, like it's just not like you just can't. Spirituality is just such one of those things that like you kind of have, you do have to practice a level of faith in. So it's like you can't really prove it, so just be at peace with being okay with that. You're not going to be viewed as the right person, like you're not going to be viewed as being right by everybody, you know. So that was a long sidetrack spiel. And that's why I like tried, like, this is what I hesitated in saying before, because it's just like, it's stuff like that that just rubs people the wrong way. Because they'll just hear that and they'll take that as a way of me saying that they're wrong. It's just like, no. It's one of those things like, we can agree to disagree. And I don't feel like you're any more right or you're any more wrong than I am, sort of thing. Now, E.A. Koetting's books, like, and that's the thing too, like, if you value his word, then absolutely buy his books, right? Like, I don't know, like, I can't stress it enough that I truly just don't view any individual more knowing than the other one. I just, like, I don't know, like, it just doesn't. You can ask for validation in this realm, but you cannot, I mean, maybe you can, but I feel like, if you can, then I would suggest you doing it on video because it would go viral. But here's the thing, like, you can't just have something have, in terms of spirituality, you can't just have consistent results of having like a being manifest to you. No, you cannot, Vaishu. You cannot have like I cannot ask Rossier to show the signs that he's here and have it immediately happen without, you know, without fail. You know, you can't, if you can't repeat it, you can't just prove it, right? If you could prove spirituality, one, spirituality wouldn't be as taboo as it is because it would be recorded. In the day and age of the internet, and like with everything having cameras and phones, I'm sorry, like I don't believe anyone that can say, that says that they can just manifest something or like have something repeatedly happen, because if you could have it repeatedly happen of where like something manifested and you could like, why are you not recording it? There's no reason for it. So it's just like is that saying that it's not real or it doesn't happen? Absolutely not. But I don't know, like just like spirituality is just what it is. Like it's, spirituality is just as much of it is as much of an hello, can I not say it? Enigma as it is, because it's like there's no right, like you can't, it's not like science. You know, you can't just like have like a controlled experiment and have it happen each time. Yeah, that's the thing. When it comes, like, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it's not me more so dismissing like you can't have had things happen because you can't. I've, honey, I've had plenty of experiences happen. I have plenty of stories that have happened that in the real world from the influence of, uh, demons, of archangels, of anything. But I can't sit here and tell you that I could just have it happen. Like I could repeat those results all the time. It's just not like that's. It's just not realistic. Well, not that it's not realistic, but it's just I don't know. If someone can say that they can have a controlled environment and have something happen each and every time, my next question would be why wasn't it recorded? Because if you could record that, then I don't know. Does that make sense, you guys? Like, it's one of the I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining myself properly. So let's jump into this for you guys. I have the general reading. The overall theme for us, this is going to be a general reading for anyone that's watching. I'm no longer doing specific readings for people, and I'm the if you're wanting like a specific reading done by me, I do personal ones. But yes, the change card is going to be the overall theme for us, which it makes sense, right? From just judging from the cards that I pulled for some of you guys earlier. Um, you guys, a lot of people are walking away from something. That's I'm gonna drop this card. Y'all weren't about to see this card anymore for the rest of this video. You can see this in this individual. He's walking away as well. So this is like a common theme that's happening. But I feel like it's such a good thing though, because we have the ten of nine of cups, right? Where you're being asked to just be happy in some type of situation. Where it's like practicing gratitude and being able to just like go through this change with a level of happiness and just contentment and peace and not having to stress and have anxiety about it, right? That's what the nine of cups represents. And I kind of feel like these two cards are like the overall theme of just being like, hey, like change is happening right now. And for this change to be coming forward in a reading, this is letting me know that this is like spiritually inclined, that this is all part of the plan. So it's like it's one of those things where we have like the four of swords and the eight of swords where it's just like this stuff has happened, right? You walk in the room and it's just like the bodies are already like stabbed and whatever. I love the Necronomicon because it's so dramatic, but it's just like take the situation for what it is, right? Like you see the situation, you have the choice of being able to just be frustrated by this change or to just be at peace with it and figure out how you can what you can do with it, right? Because that's what the Six of Coins is about. It's just like making it productive, making this change and making these bumps on the road productive for you. Because I feel like, as I was saying, like I feel like since this change is spiritually involved and part of the process, Spirit's not going to just have something happen just for the sake of it, right? They're not going to just like throw this at you and be like, like they'll just like we're bored, right? Let's have this individual deal with a breakup, right? There's always something that you can take from it. There's always some type of purpose that you can take from that change. And I feel like the more you're able to not feel personally victimized by this change and be able to just be at peace with it and be like, okay, more so like the question I guess people should ask is being like, okay, what are you guys trying to teach me? And when I say you guys, that's you speaking to your spirit guides, your ancestors, and whatever. Because that's something I will do as well. Something I probably need to be doing now too with all that's been happening with me. But it's like I will do this where it's just like what are you guys like I don't know what it is you guys are trying to show me right now. And it's usually from then they will start leaving more breadcrumbs for me to follow or being a little bit more obvious in what it is I'm trying to do or what they're trying to do for me. So that's what I'm suggesting for you guys. I feel as if you guys need to like because we do have the High Priestess card. The High Priestess card talks about like the intuitive, and connecting intuitively, and the Hanged Man is kind of letting me know it's like this change is gonna happen regardless. You guys kind of have to just like, we have to just kind of commit to this and commit to this change and just go with the flow of it. 'Cause the Hanged Man is saying it's gonna happen. Like whatever is happening is happening. It's happening. It's happening. We can't change this. We can't. Um, it's nothing that we ourselves are doing wrong. There's nothing that you or I, like, we're not on the wrong path or anything like that. This is just more so about a thing. It's just like, this is happening now. Let's make the best of it, you know? you, and just take comfort in the fact that this is spiritually inclined, that there is a purpose for it, right? Sometimes it's a lot easier to take in the pain, or to just, yeah, like just take the punch, take the blows, if we know that there's a purpose for it. If we can add some type of reasons, like being like, okay, we're dealing with this because of X, Y, and Z. It makes it so much easier to just deal with the situation, and being aware that this is just like a chapter in a book that you need to, it's one of those things, like, you don't take a, if you were given, like, you don't take it personal when a test is given to you, right? When you're like, a math test is given to you, you don't take it personal when a math problem is presented in front of you on a test, because it's like, that's what this purpose is for. Its purpose is to challenge you and to see if you know your stuff. And the only way that you are going to know if you know your stuff is if you actively do it. So it's just like, don't take this test personal. Don't take this pop quiz, I guess would be more fitting, personal. Just take it for what it is. See this pop quiz. Don't see it as like the end all be all, because the pop quiz, once you do, like, this pop quiz is happening, but eventually that pop quiz is going to end, and you can just go back to the, you just continue on. Life goes on, sort of thing, you guys. So I hope this reading was helpful to you guys, and I really am super appreciative of you guys for hanging out with me. And Caroline, I'm so sorry. I'm not able to see the chat anymore because it's like being glitchy, but so I can't really see too many more people's messages. But yeah, I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I really needed this booster. So I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, I don't know. I really want to do this like a weekly live stream or something, but we'll see. I'll keep y'all on your toes, but I do need to go back to doing these zodiac readings. But I love you guys so much. And yeah, let me just wrap this up. I also, before I do that, let me give like a little heads up of a teaser. I plan on I really want to do a this thought came to me yesterday, is I always do like this gratitude ritual that I'll do for myself whenever I'm just going through a lot. It's usually actually with Rossier, but it includes other beings as well. But I always do like a weekly ritual for myself of whatever it is I'm trying to manifest, it, or just trying to just overall like boost up my mood. And so I thought about doing like for my community page, because I like to use my community post a lot. I wanted to like see if I could like, I don't know how I'll do it, but it's like maybe doing like a public ritual that I could do each week, where it's like anyone that wants to just have like a like a feels good boost. I don't know. I'll basically, as y'all can tell, I haven't fully fleshed out into words yet, but it's not quite like a manifestation ritual. It's really just kind of like a, if I'm feeling like really like depressed or whatever, I always like will do this on a weekly basis just to like boost my optimism. I do that, like, I don't just naturally wake up and be optimistic. It's always like a conscious thing. So I wanted to like maybe like do like a weekly thing where I do on like a community post where it's like I write people's names down that want to be included in it, and I can just do that for people. Just include y'all's names in whatever it is I'm doing. Wouldn't cost anything since I just do it anyways, but just like a free, like a nice option for people if they want to like be more involved. Obviously, I'll like write it. I'll have the details and explain it all better once I actually have it in post form, so it makes a lot more sense than me trying to explain it off the fly right now. But yeah, that's what I have planned. I'm gonna close this reading off now so I can start recording these zodiac readings for tomorrow. But yeah, I can't wait to hear from you guys later. Ugh. If I could end this reading, you know what? How could I push this button? Hello? The awkward moment of me trying to end a call. All right, I think I got it. I love you guys. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me.